Hello, everybody. Tracy, Mrs. JDog Flanagan with you here today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures, sponsored by the JDog Foundation. Our podcast gives veterans, mil spouses, active military members, and military family members a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure that has helped them in their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I'm very excited to have with me Nicole Bryan, who is an Air Force milspouse and the founder and CEO of Empower Virtually, a growing virtual assistant agency. Nicole launched her entrepreneurial journey in February 2023. Having exceeded her annual targets, Empower Virtually was transformed into a thriving virtual assistant agency by September 2023. Nicole's path to entrepreneurship was shaped by her husband's commitment to the U.S. Air Force, which led their family to relocate to England in November 2021. Faced with the challenge of having to leave her career amidst this transition, Nicole's strong background of adaptability and service enabled her to seize the opportunity to channel her expertise into building her own business. Fueled by her passion for exploration and discovery, Nicole's love for travel remains a constant source of inspiration. She finds fulfillment in both the adventure of new experiences and the growth of her business, where she leads a dedicated team of virtual assistants and a skilled social media manager. Wow. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me today.
Yes. So, Air Force Mel spouse, amazing. You gals are so amazing to me. My hats go off to you. Thank you for your husband's service and, of course, your service as well. So, tell us about your husband's military career. Did you meet while he was in the military? And what's this military life been like for you?
Yeah, so it's definitely been a rocky road, I guess, in the best way possible. We met right when he was stationed in DM at Davis Monthan in Tucson, which is where I was born and raised. And he was ready to get out of the military. He was like, I'm done, I'm getting out. We met in March. And he's like, October, I'm out of the military. And then a deployment came up. So he's like, well, what's one more year? So he decided to extend for the deployment. And then right before the deployment, he got orders to Hill in Utah. So he said, what's 4 more years after that? So he went on the deployment. After the deployment, 2 weeks after he got home, we packed up and moved to Utah. And he was ready to get out of the military again. And then they gave us England. So he was like, what's 4 more years? So when we leave
Oh,
England, he will be at 13 years. And who knows what's going to
oh my
happen at this
gosh.
point.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great story. I love how he kept on saying, "Well, what's four
Yeah,
more?" Oh my gosh, that's
exactly.
amazing. Wow.
Yes. I feel like that's just the military life,
Right.
right? Like you make all these big plans and then they are like, we're just kidding. Like you're going to go somewhere else and your whole life changes again.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been in England since 2021. So that was
Mhm.
kind of in the middle of the pandemic. What was that like?
Yeah, we were actually the last month arriving to England. So we arrived November of 2021. And in December, like we had to take like the COVID test and we had to quarantine for 3 days. Um, but starting December 1, they no longer had to do that anymore. So we were just like the last wave of it, which was kind of
Right.
nice. I heard a lot of people came over like January 2020 and then they weren't able to travel at
Oh,
all.
wow.
So we got super lucky in our timing that we were able to come over here and then start traveling.
Wow. Wow. Is so Is there a particular aspect or moment from your husband's service that stood out to you as being especially impactful in a positive way? Like one of these PCSs, did they mean a lot to you, or something, a community that really was special?
You know, there was one moment. Um, we had just moved over here. I was super pregnant with my son when we
Oh,
moved over
wow.
here. So I was just kind of feeling it. I missed home, I missed Target, Miss Ranch. And we met someone here who was in the military here in England. So they were British local. And they were talking to my husband about his career. So my husband started on A-10s at DM, and then he moved to the F-35s. And when we were talking to them, my husband was like, "Oh yeah, I worked on A-10s." And that guy pulled my husband and was like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "The A-10s completely saved my life one day." He's like, "We were out on the battlefield and we kept calling for backup and they just kept saying they would get to us, they would get to us." And he's like, "We were like last resort." And the American military A-10s came in and saved us.
Oh,
And
wow.
that right there, I was like, that is so cool because to me, they're just planes,
Yeah.
right? It's cool to see them. It's fun to watch them in the air. It's fun to watch them take off. My son gets really excited about them. To me, they're just planes. But then hearing what they do and what he did, like what him being the maintenance part of it, like it's so cool to me when I hear stories like that. That to me, super impactful.
Wow. Wow. That's
Mhm.
a great story. I love that. So now you are the CEO and founder of Empower Virtually, which, I think there's a lot of people trying to solve, the mill spouse PCS employment issue that has been overlooked for so many years, but now is at the forefront of trying to be solved. So I
Mhm.
believe that is kind of what you're all about, and I I would love to hear. I think I know what inspired you to do this, but I'd love to hear about your journey and how you got Empire Virtually off the ground.
Yeah, so I loved my job when we were in the States. I was in escrow. I did the title work when you buy and sell a house. I was the assistant there. I climbed the ladder there and I was one of the executive assistants and I loved what I was doing, but moving overseas, I had to leave my job. And then I came to a base where I didn't really know anybody. I was working, I was trying to find another job, but I just wasn't finding anything for spouses that fit the skills and knowledge that I had built. And it's hard when you're going to a new place and you're always finding a new job. You're here for 4 years. And then I was like, well, then my resume is going to just show 4 years of a random job. And then I'm trying to get back to the States. And what if I don't like the job that's here? So then I have multiple jobs within the 4 years. And it's kind of stressful being a military spouse overseas when the only jobs that you really have are on base, unless you go through like the visa paperwork and stuff to get a job off base. So I stumbled across the virtual assistant world and I was like, well, why not? Like, we're spouses. We move all the time, we travel, we get to do things, we go see family, we go and take our own vacations.
Right.
Why not just start my own business where I can take it with me wherever we go next, whether that's back to the States or to another overseas base? I can take my job with me wherever. So I felt like that was the best option for me. And it's been great because I get to help other military spouses with this. But it's so important to me to have my business and something that I can control, especially living overseas.
Right, right. Yeah, that's great. So how does Empire Virtually work? So you have other mill spouses that work with you, and are they an extension of Empower Virtually, an extension of yourself? How does all that work?
Yeah, Yeah, so I started the business as a one man show, but then after I grew really fast, I decided to scale. So now what I do is I go out and I network and meet new people and bring on new clients, and I match them with a virtual assistant to help their growing business scale and grow and take away those tedious tasks. And I've met quite a few spouses over here who are who have executive assistants or general admin experience before or social media management, and I bring them onto my team and I find them a client for them to work. So now they still get to work while they're overseas. It's part time, it's on their own time and their own hours, and they still get to help other businesses grow and scale, which is super fun and it's kind of exciting to watch spouses, and because I can get to meet with them with coffee, which my other virtual assistants who aren't spouses and in the States, I can't really meet them for coffee. So it's even more fun to have the spouses here, and then we can connect and grow and learn together.
That's great. That's
Hello,
great. I love
viewers and listeners. Are you a military veteran or military family member and looking to own your own business? If so, go to jdog.com and check out our two veteran focused franchises, JDog Junk Removal and Hauling and JDog Carpet Cleaning and Floor Care. Our franchisees nationwide are always looking to hire fellow veterans and patriots. JDog is the world's largest military franchise system with hundreds of locations nationwide. We are nearly 90% veteran owned with the goal of reducing the veteran unemployment rate to under 1%. Check us out. Go to jdog.com to learn more. Now, back to the podcast.
So you say that you also help other spouses that may want to start their own kind of entrepreneurial journey. Now, is that just with virtual assistants, or is it another business that they might be wanting to start and you just help them kind of navigate that path of entrepreneurship, or how does that work?
Yeah, most of the businesses or most of the spouses that I've helped have wanted to jump into the virtual assistant world. I'm up to helping other spouses. I obviously don't have the knowledge when it comes to like how to run their business if it's not a virtual assistant, but getting that back end and getting um, like how to get your LLC, how to build a website, how to build your Facebook, how to connect. Because when you build businesses, sometimes people think that clients are just going to come to you. Like you have this great idea
Right.
and people are just going to show up at your door knocking, and that's not part of it. And so that's something that I really walk through with other spouses of like you actually have to put in the footwork and this is how you do it. This is how you become successful by putting in the footwork. And so that's kind of what I do. It's been fun. I've helped another mom over here start her business, and it's fun to watch it grow and
Yeah.
see what she's up to.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of times, just getting those, logistics in place as you're starting, you don't know what you don't know. So you've already been
Mhm.
there, you've already done that. So, you can already take them through those steps, which is amazing. Um,
Mhm.
so I would love to know, what is your tactical treasure? What would you like to share with us today?
Yes. I am a mom of two. I have two young toddlers here, and it was hard in the beginning for each move that we've made, but I think finding your triangle. I always say through like two additional couples that you can rely on and take turns babysitting so that you have date night. So one couple watches your kids and you go out on a date night, and then they go out on a date night and the third couple watches their kids. And you kind of just do this triangle. That way, one, you're not always watching someone's kids, and two, you're all getting date nights. So that is my tactical treasure, is to enjoy your spouse because we don't always have them. They deploy, they go on TDYs, and your marriage is going to be the most important thing because after the military, that's all you have. After your kids go up and they leave and go to college, you and your spouse are all you have.
Right,
So that
right.
is what I preach.
Oh, I love that. That is a great idea. Um, and what did you call it? Finding your trifold, did you say?
Your
Your
triangle, your
triangle.
triangle of
Triangle.
friends. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. That's
Yes.
great. I
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great idea. So you all kind of help each other and you
Mhm.
foster that very, very one-on-one spousal, marriage time. That's great. I love it. That's a great tactical treasure. Um,
Thank you.
so would you have any advice for your fellow male spouses that are navigating this military life, um, maybe multiple PCSs and deployments and that sort of thing? Would you have any advice for them?
Yeah. I would suggest that, or tell them that they should stay with who they are. Find things that they like to do and find places for them to do it within each PCS. Because sometimes you lose yourself in the midst of changing and growing and your spouse leaving and then you having to pack up, but finding what you like to do best and sticking to it. So if you like to paint, and make sure that you attend like the local arts and crafts stores and or like the paint and wine nights. Like go and do what you want to do to keep yourself, because at the end of the day, like it's just like it's you and you need to keep your sanity, you need to keep your stress level down. So find what you like to do, and there will always be places to do it, whether you're overseas, whether you're in states, and you can always find a good friend to go and do it with. Like you'll always meet somebody there, and just being out there. So it's kind of scary, but it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that the mill spouse community is very tight knit, and I think it doesn't matter where you PCS. You're going to make friends, and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
find that one person who's going to be, um, your buddy or your mentor or anchor to kind of help you along the way
Yeah.
in the mill spouse life. So I think that's
Yeah.
great advice.
There's a lot of people on our local Facebook page that say, like, hey, I'm just moving there. This is a little about me. This is what I like to do. These are the pets or the kids that I have. I would love to make a friend. And I recommend that, like, you actually go out and do this. Like, if somebody says, hey, I also like to do that, schedule the time to go do that. Because if you just post about it and people comment on it and then you never respond, it's kind of hard to find that family. But if you actually, like, respond, you'll find that person.
Right. So you just said Facebook pages. So are there in certain areas or around certain bases, are there specific military spouse Facebook groups that you can join?
I think every base that I have heard of or that my friends have gone to, our family, or we've gone to, they've always had a military spouse Facebook page.
Wow.
So, so I like when we were at Hill, it was like Hill Military Spouses here in England because there's 3 bases within like 5 miles of each other. It's called the Tri-Base like spouse group. So finding that spouse group is always fun.
Oh wow. So that's great. And that, that makes perfect sense, but I never knew that. I didn't know that you can connect through Facebook depending on, what base you're close to. That's really great.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. Um, well, Nicole, this has been a wonderful discussion, hearing all about your military life and what you're doing with Empower Virtually. I think it's so needed, and the virtual assistant world is really getting legs, especially in the military spouse community. I feel because it's so
Hmm.
needed. So that's
Yes.
really awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to watch it grow.
Yeah,
I cheer you all on.
yeah. So thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule in England to visit
Thank
us from afar. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. I'm so grateful.
Take care. Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures Podcast. We just finished up an awesome conversation with Nicole Bryan, who is a U.S. Air Force milspouse and the founder and CEO of Empower Virtually, which is a rapidly growing virtual assistant agency dedicated to easing the burden of tedious tasks for business owners by providing top-notch virtual assistance services. Their mission is to streamline business operations, giving business owners the time and freedom to focus on scaling their business. Empower Virtually offers a diverse range of services and flexible package options tailored to the business owner's unique needs. From administrative support to social media management, the Empower Virtually team is well equipped to handle it all. Their goal is to be your ally in business growth, ensuring maximum efficiency and productivity. Empower Virtually allows the business owner to reclaim valuable time that can be invested in strategic planning and innovation without the overwhelming burden of day-to-day tasks. For more information, go to empowervirtually.com to see all their package options and all that they have to offer. Thank you again for joining us for this podcast. And don't forget, you can find Tactical Treasures on all your podcast streaming platforms, as well as American Grit, and Vet TV. We are now airing on Reach Across America Radio on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you missed that, please join us for the encore Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find Reach Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. We are also proud to share that our JDog Foundation is a Reach Across America sponsorship group. For each $17 Veterans Wreath you sponsor, $5 goes directly back to the JDog Foundation, whose mission is to prevent veteran suicide and heal veterans' mental health and PTSD. You can donate right now at reachacrossamerica.org/JDog. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again on another podcast real soon. Bye-bye now.